I've abandoned the message I was going to record today and broken a lot of promises. I want to talk about my favourite subject, America. Everybody that knows me knows they're no favourite of mine. The reason being that over the years crossed paths with them many times and have always been, I won't say utterly disgusted, appalled would be a word, and what's the word I'm looking for to say that I'm really fed up with their boasting, which has no solid footing in reason. I come from a military family, including myself rather. Over a period of 100 years, I suppose we've got to know the Americans rather well. For a start, they're the worst allies that anybody could ever have. Deceitful, lying, and only out for themselves and the good old dollar. If you go back as far as the American Civil War, there was a Yankee general who was sent to France, and he had a deal for them that if they helped the Yankees defeat their mortal foes from the south, the Confederacy, and then when they'd wiped them up, they would help France retake Canada from the British. Isn't that lovely? 2 world wars, late both times. First time, hardly worth turning up. They were only there a few months. They've actually made more movies about it than they were actually days in the war. Second World War, same again. They say they came in December 1941 at Pearl Harbor, but by the time they were ready it was just about December 1942. So they had a couple of years playing at being soldier and not being very good at it actually. And that's with apologies to some of the good ones, or the better ones, who mainly now live in Australia actually, come to think about it. It's always upsetting because I had many American friends, now mostly passed on. Awful lot live here in Queensland, up around the Whitsunday Islands and the Reef area. Seems to suit them very well. And they even get along with the Germans. We got a lot of them. They're mainly ecologists and all this sort of stuff. Anyway, I digressed. Take World War II. Britain was being bombed out of existence, atrocities in Europe, and America decided to just play neutral. Not going to get involved in this. This is a European war. Why should we be involved? A lot of finagling, and they agreed to send some food and some clapped out World War I destroyers to help, most of which fell apart before they even got to the UK. And they charged Britain for every little paper bag, ship, bowl of fruit, whatever. Unlike when the British were in a position to send stuff to Russia, there was no charge. We lost hundreds of ships. One of my uncles who did survive was a merchant seaman, was sunk 4 times on the Atlantic convoy route, which was some sort of a record. Nobody got charged. But America, they wanted the dollar for everything. Plus, it was a bit of a spectator sport for them, the Second World War. They even sent, was it Morrow over, or whoever it was? And he relayed via radio the blow-by-blow description of the bombs falling on London and the fires and the death and the inhumanity. directly to the American audience, sitting around their fires and eating unlimited food, complacently saying, aren't we glad we're not there? We might be their allies, but we haven't gone in to help. And that's them. They'll be an ally all the time it suits them. If it doesn't suit them, you can forget it. I know from personal experience how two-faced they can be. A friend of mine used to do a lot of, his ship used to run up past Guam a lot. Big base there, Guam. And they took great delight in getting as close as they possibly could by staying in international waters. Because every time they did it, a warship would build out of Guam Harbour. 2 circles around them, intimidating them, like a moray eel coming out of its cave. Sometimes they were even asked to halt and be boarded, and they told them to go away, although they used a bit more colourful language than that. Then, once his ship was shattered by a submarine, and they knew it was there, even though the periscope was 2 or 3 miles away. These days they're very good telescopes, and they could see what was happening on the deck of the ship. So he got all his crew lined up and they mooned it, and there were 4 female crew members on board too, and they joined in with gusto. This is the sort of thing we had to put up with. I've been circled many times in the South Pacific, and up near Singapore, and once I think in Strait of Malacca. American warships coming around demanding to know who we were and what we're going. They got told in no uncertain terms. I just pointed at the Australian flag, which we seldom flew because there's so many regulations, but we did fly a Union flag, and they used to get most annoyed that we weren't taking them seriously. We also always went on deck with glasses of beer and bottles of whiskey in hand, knowing that the poor dry little buggers returned to their messes to drink their Coca-Cola and eat their stupid looking apples. They are not trustworthy, and now I hate to say that I've brought this on because, as I said long ago in a book, they have gone down the gurgler. There isn't some insanity in America. America is insane. 350 million guns in civilian hands. 350 million guns. What do they expect? If that's not a country that has already spiraled down into the madness of impending hell, I don't know what is. How they let it happen, I don't know. The stupid constitution that said they had the right to bear arms, written a couple of 100 years ago, has no application in today's society. I have a lot of American neighbours now, because they are moving to Queensland, even up here in the high country. I'm in a place called Toowoomba. It's unfortunately a long way from the sea, but I got sent here because their humidity is very low and it's a little bit cooler, and evidently that was essential, so we moved up here. There's a lot of Americans around here, a lot from the mining industry, the professionals, and they get on well. The wives love the shopping because the shops are so similar to back home. The children go to the schools and feel rather funny wearing school uniforms, but they soon get used to it. And the fathers even learn to play cricket. and that means an awful lot. So, I've had my say. Mr. Trump's reply that I saw this morning was so weak, I just had to say something. I know what you're thinking. I'm the fellow with a brain that went into recession a decade ago. I understand very little, but what I do understand is that when you get what used to be the greatest power on the face of the earth, and still thinks it is, even though I would say they come about eighth now. I mean, they got a lot of ships and weapons and stuff, but the people manning it are an undisciplined lot of please give me this, please give me that, or I don't want to play, that you've ever come across. Don't want them. Oh, yesterday 2 of their bigwigs turned up. Pompey, or whatever his name is, and some other guy. And I said to my wife, they want the Northern Territory. They want to put missiles up in the Northern Territory. She said, no, not anymore, that time's long gone. Morning news this morning. Prime Minister has initially declined the American offer of arming right across the top of Australia. Makes us a target and takes some of the weight off America. The argument isn't over. They will now go into further talks. I knew it. Fortress Australia, biggest aircraft carrier in the Asian area, and they want it, but they don't want to actually admit that they want it. They want us to think that they're doing us a favour and protecting us. Well, knowing their past, I'm pretty sure that anybody that's encountered them, had dealings with them at sea and on land, will know they wouldn't lift a finger to help Australia unless it was in their interest. If anybody attacked us, they would, even though we are allies, they would do the same as they did in World War I and World War II. They're useless. And my wife is now looking at me saying that I've got too excited and I have to, take a pill. Oh, isn't that nice? See, you've excited me. Okay, I'll go away now. Have a good day. Not a nice one, as last time, but have a good one. And just remember, if they're Americans in the area and they now live in Australia, be nice. Because all the ones I've come across here are very, very nice. Even the ones that play cricket. Yeah. Well, we'll see what the next few months bring. It'll either be very interesting, or as I said again in a book some time ago, all the nukes will fly, and then we won't have to worry about it, will we? I should go back to drinking my Qingdao Chinese beer whilst it's still on the market, best beer in the world, and we'll leave it at that. Have a ripper day, and be nice to somebody, even if it's only a cat. See ya.